Azamat Murzakanov, bro. This dude right now is 11-0. Great striking, bro. He comes out in that very bouncy karate style, right? Very bouncy. But here's the problem that I see here. He's a very low volume fighter. Very low volume fighter. Picks his spots. Very precise. And that's where the power comes in that precision. Devin Clark, though, we've seen how quickly he could jump on a double leg. And if he can get Murzakanov down to the ground, that is his path to victory. However, AJ, I've been thinking a lot about this recently. When you're talking about handicapping a fight, when you're talking about even picking a fight, you have to think about different tiers of like why a fighter is going to win. One of them has to be path to victory, clearly, right? Is it fair to say that Devin Clark, his path to victory, while it's a good one, is a very limited one in comparison to Azamat Murzakanov? I think Murzakanov has more paths to victory that are more likely to occur. What do you think?
I mean, it depends. You get somebody to the ground, elbow their face in, beat them up, TKO knockout. Also, if you don't, actually get them finished, then that's a decision win. I don't see either of these fighters submitting each other. Since Devin Clark's a freestyle wrestler, I don't really see him getting many submissions. Or you have Murzakanov, who can just stay on the feet, stay light and bouncy, knock you out with a couple very snappy left hand, big power over there too. Although he slows down, that was a big thing I was seeing in a couple of his fights. I forget which one it was. I'm gonna look real quick. It was the Nchukwu. It was the Nchukwu fight. Gets to the third round, gets to the second round, middle of the second round. You see him hands starting to get low, kind of has this like lull to him a little bit, but comes back in the third, gives all he's got, catches you with a flying knee. But what if that knee doesn't land? And then you start getting a little tired. Then the gas tank starts working. I can also see a knockout and decision coming for both fighters. So I don't really know about more paths to victory. Which ones are you talking about?
Well, so this is what I mean by that. Devin Clark, his path to victory is predicated on the takedown. If you don't get the takedown, it's going to be a long night. Murzakanov, he could stuff your takedowns. He could work on the feet, do whatever he wants on the feet, work the clinch, work all of those situations, and I still think have that path to victory, right? So that's kind of what I mean by that. When you're talking about when it gets to the later and he gasses out, I don't know that Murzakanov did give everything that he had left in that knee. I don't think so. I think that he still had that pop left. It's just you notice with all the karate fighters, even Michel Paeta, you start off bouncing that first round, come round three, now you're flat-footed. Now you're just kind of, it's hard to maintain that for 3, 5-minute rounds. I just think that, like I said, the better path to victory, the more likely path to victory is keeping it on the feet and just working your game plan there, as opposed to, if I don't get the takedown, can I hang with Murzakanov on the feet? Can Devin Clark hang? Maybe. We don't know. I don't think so. I think Murzakanov is too precise, too much power, and Devin Clark has kind of folded a little bit when he's faced those real power hitters, because then you start getting desperate for the takedown, and the more desperate you get, now you're eating a knee, now you're eating an uppercut, now you're eating something nasty. So that's kind of what I mean by that. But I like that we have contention here because that means that we're both seeing the fight play out a little bit differently. So let's talk about X's and O's here. I'm glad you pointed out Murzakanov has that nasty left hand that he spams a little bit, you know what I mean? He does tend to overuse it just a little bit and just try to hit the pipe home with it time and time again. But I want to put things into perspective here. He flatlined Tafon Nchukwu. I want to put that in perspective. That's not a simple thing to do. This is a behemoth of a man. And if you look at the, these two on the tail of the tape, Devin Clark is the bigger man, right? Murzakanov is 5'10", Clark is 6 foot. Devin Clark has a 4-inch reach advantage, which he's not going to use because he's not the big striker like Murzakanov is. So Murzakanov is going to have to kind of close that distance with that karate style and manage to avoid a takedown. If you look at the knockout victories, 8 knockout wins for Murzakanov. So this is a thing that man does a lot. 4 knockouts actually in his last 5. All 3 of them are in the first round. 1 of them is in that third round, right? If you look at Devin Clark, his last win against William Knight, that was a hard-fought victory, man. Even though it ended in a knockout, that was a very back-and-forth hard-fought victory. Now let's be honest here, AJ. That was a heavyweight fight too. Let's be honest here. Between these two fighters, William Knight on one hand, Azamat Murzakanov on one hand. We're talking about technical stand-up prowess. I think you have one man throwing big right hands, big shots over at you. Then you got Murzakanov, who's very missile precise, laser-like right there. It's just a big difference right here. So honestly, do you think that if this fight stays on the feet, like Clark has a chance to win this?
No. If this stays on the feet, no, man. No, not at all. Don't get me wrong. Murzakanov, this dude's very bouncy, light on his feet, like you said, explosive. He likes the blitz is where the one thing that kind of gives me a little contention. You're sitting there, like you said, he's a little low volume, so he'll sit there, he'll bounce around, he'll spam that left hand, keep it going, and then he'll blitz in on you. And that's where he can kind of have a little bit of trouble with Devin Clark, because if Clark can read that blitz, get to those hips, that's where the takedown comes in. But if this stays a striking match, the karate guy is gonna get it going, man. This is a guy who's used to seeing people in there where he's bouncing around, they're a little flat-footed, and you're able just to pick them apart, keep things moving, keep them going, stay at a range in which is more beneficial to you and not get your hips grabbed. That's Murzakanov style all day. But like I said, that little bit of that blitz attack, that can be a detriment to you if you're not, super cautious on stepping off, cutting the angle and getting away, cutting the angle and dipping out. Where if Devin Clark can, see that coming, shoot in, get to the hips, and then cut his own angle and then get the takedown, that's kind of where Devin Clark, prospers. But the thing that scares me about Devin Clark, man, he's not really a specialist in anything. Sure, he was a freestyle wrestler, and as much as wrestlers kind of have their shine in the UFC, I wouldn't say he's this like dominating pressure wrestler who's going to always get the takedown no matter what. He's kind of more of just a fighter, just a fighter's fighter who's going to be able, not a jack of all trades either. He's just kind of good at fighting, good at scrapping. So he's in there with some of the best of them to do it. So, like I said, it's not really, he's not going to have a good shot on the feet. He does throw a lot of kicks, but he doesn't really mask them that well. He'll just kind of throw the kick out there. And if you're kicking with a karate guy or especially an explosive striker like that, you'll want to be masking those kicks. So do I think he, like I said before, do I think he has a chance on the feet? No, not really. He's going to get outclassed. But could he get the fight to the ground? I'd say, 7 out of 10 times. Hell yeah. What about you?
I don't know, man. I think it's going to be harder. It's going to be harder than that for Devin Clark. And the reason why is I think Murzakanov just kind of freezes his opponents with that karate style that he has, man. If you look at the Dana White Contender Series fight, which is not indicative of the level of competition Devin Clark is, but he'll just stand in front of you and literally freeze you. Just stand, just chill, wait for that opening to pop up. And he's giving you little feints the whole time, little feints all over the place. And you're just like, do I shoot? I'm going to run into a knee. What do I do? If you wind up on that big right hand, it's going to be a short night for him. So listen, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I like Azamat Murzakanov here, and I did go back and forth because like all of this is all my how would you say? The reasons why I think that my pick might not work is because if Devin Clark lands the takedown, and he can get it successfully, and if it's like, 30 seconds in and he just lands it, and you're like, oh, shit, that was way easier than I thought. Yeah, all right, well, it picks out the window. I like Murzakanov. I think he'll be able to stuff the takedowns, keep the fight on the feet, and I think that he knocks out Devin Clark. I think that he gets it done. I think it's going to be a precision thing. He's going to time him, land him with that big shot, man, and I'm telling you, this dude has real pop in his hands. This isn't like this dude gets some fake knock. No, this dude knocks people out. I like Azamat Murzakanov here. The over and under here is 2.5 rounds. I'm taking the under. And I like this like a second round knockout here. How do you see it, brother?
2.5 rounds. I'm going Devin Clark, and I'm going TKO, man. I'm going 2.5. Yeah, I'm taking the over. It's going to happen in the third, I think.
Damn, you're going TKO Devin Clark. All right, so let me look. Now, I just want to look just out of curiosity, man. And this is, no disrespect or nothing. We're just going to take a look at when's the last time Devin Clark won via knockout. And you have to go back to, has he ever won?
His last fight, William Knight.
Oh, yeah, but before that.
He's
not even in the UFC. Before that, he doesn't even have a knockout in the UFC. So, all right, long shot, plus 600 TKO for Devin Clark, man. And if he can get that ground and pound going, he can do what he did to William Knight. But easier said than done. I like Murzakanov. AJ likes Clark here. And, here's one of the contention bouts, man. And let's move on to the last one.